All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest, most talked about technologies out there, generative AI. We're going to break down how it really works, what it can actually do, and trust me, why it's a whole lot more than just a chatbot. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to look beyond just ChatGPT, because there's a whole world out there. Then we'll talk about the difference between a creator AI and a strategist AI. After that, we'll peek under the hood to see how this stuff actually learns. We'll check out all the cool things it can make in what I'm calling the idea factory, and we'll wrap up by thinking about what it means to have a new creative partner. Okay, first things first. We got to get one thing straight. You've heard of ChatGPT, right? Of course you have. It's kind of become the face of this whole revolution, but it is so not the whole story. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, be honest. When you hear the term generative AI, is ChatGPT the first thing that pops into your head? Look, it's totally normal if it is. But that's kind of like saying the entire internet is just Google or just one website. It's just not full picture. Nope, the reality is ChatGPT is just one single star in this huge, sprawling galaxy of generative AI. And believe me, that galaxy is way more diverse than you might think. So let's get a really clear definition here. What is generative AI, or GenAI for short? Well, it's a type of AI that doesn't just, sort through or analyze data that already exists. No. It actually creates brand new, totally original stuff based on what it's learned. It's like it studies the world's library and then writes a whole new book. And that ability to create, well, that brings us to a really important difference. How is this new creator AI any different from the AI we've been using for years? The stuff that recommends your next show on Netflix or suggests a song on Spotify? Okay, think of it like this. Traditional AI is like a grandmaster chess computer. It's a master strategist. It looks at the board, it recognizes millions of patterns from past games, and it predicts the absolute best move based on everything it's ever seen. But generative AI, it's different. It's the kind of player that might just invent a totally new, unheard of opening move. It doesn't just recognize the patterns, it creates new ones. It's literally simulating creativity. So the big question is, how on earth does a machine learn to be creative, right? It sounds like science fiction. So let's pop the hood for a second and see how this engine actually works. But I promise, we'll keep it simple. The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine an art student who has spent years studying thousands of paintings. Every brushstroke, every color palette, every style. They absorb it all. They internalize the patterns, the rules, the structures, and then they pick up a blank canvas and paint something completely new, something that's theirs. That's GenAI. An engine making all of this happen, it's something called a neural network, and the name is a huge clue. It's a system that's literally inspired by the structure of the human brain. It's this incredible, complex web that can learn from data, spot patterns, and get better and better all on its own. It is the absolute core of what makes GenAI GenAI. So this whole learning journey really breaks down into 4 main steps. First, you've got training. You just feed the model a mind-boggling amount of data, text, images, you name it. Then comes learning. It starts to pick out all the patterns and the hidden rules in all that stuff. Step 3 is layers. This is cool. It starts with simple patterns like lines and shapes, and then combines them in deeper and deeper layers to understand really complex things. And finally, generation. It takes everything it learned and makes something new. Something similar to what it's seen, sure, but not an identical copy. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the how. Now for the really fun part, the so what. Welcome to the Idea Factory. What can this technology actually do? Seriously, get ready, because the range of what's possible here is, well, it's probably going to blow your mind. Let's start with the stuff you've probably already seen or heard about, text and images. I mean, just think about it for a second. This is stuff that can help you write that tricky email to your boss, or it can write a beautiful poem. It can create a stunning piece of art from just a few words you type, or take a super dense 50-page report and just, poof, turn it into a simple, easy-to-read summary. This is already changing our day-to-day lives. But it doesn't stop with words and pictures. Oh no, it's moving way beyond that, into the world of sound and motion. We're talking about composing original music, synthesizing voices that sound completely real, even automating super complex video editing.
You might have heard about how they used AI to pull John Lennon's voice from an old demo to create a new Beatles song. I mean, that's wild. It is completely changing the game for how movies, music, and all sorts of media get made.
And hey, this isn't just for artists and musicians. Check this out. In the world of engineering, General Motors used GenAI to design a seatbelt bracket. The AI came up with a design that was 40% lighter and 20% stronger. How? It just explored thousands and thousands of possible designs, way more than a human team ever could, and found the absolute best one. That's a real-world physical product made better by AI.
And it doesn't stop there. It's also speeding up innovation in some of the most technical fields you can imagine.
Think about this. It can write computer code just from a simple description in plain English. That's huge for developers. It's helping to speed up the process of discovering new medicines. And it can even create synthetic data, basically fake data that has the same statistical properties as real data, which is amazing for training other AIs without compromising anyone's privacy.
Okay, so what does all of this mean? When you put it all together, what's the big picture here? Let's zoom out for a second and think about what it really means to have this technology as part of our world.
I think the biggest takeaway, the real shift, is this. AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's not just a calculator or a spell checker. It's evolving into something more like a creative partner, an inventor, a collaborator that can come up with original ideas that can help us and even inspire us. So if you remember anything from our conversation today, let it be these 4 things. 1. GenAI creates new stuff. It doesn't just analyze old stuff. 2. It's all about simulating human creativity. 3. It's powered by those brain-inspired neural networks. And 4. Its potential uses go way, way beyond just text. We're talking music, design, science, you name it. And I want to leave you with one last thought to chew on. As this technology gets better and better and better at creating things that look, sound, and feel completely real, we're heading towards a really tricky question. What happens when we can't tell the difference anymore? When you can't be sure if what you're seeing is real or if it was generated by an AI? That's something we're all going to have to grapple with. Thanks for joining me.